Hi, you're probably here because you heard my song Arabica and you loved it, and you loved it so much that you have nothing better to do with your life, and you want to find out how I made it. Here's how I made it. Enjoy. Alright, with all of the jokes aside and all that kind of bullshit, let's have a look into the beat. So this beat consists of 17 tracks, 4 of them compressed into 2, making it just 15. So, a quick story about the beat. I made the beat 6 months prior to the release of the song because originally all I had was an 808 pattern, a kick, a tack, which is snare, or a sound that counts like as a snare, and 2 percussion elements, which created this vibe to it. It's already mixed and bounced beat, so I panned one of the sounds to the left, which is tom, and tom to the right, which you can see in the waveform right over here. The reason for that is really simple. It creates a really nice stereo image and it makes it more interesting when it doesn't sound and sit in the middle. The next thing that I added to the beat was a fairly small, simple hi-hat pattern. As you can see and hear, that the hi-hat was just programmed into the thing, and I just really readjusted the velocity of the certain note so it has a bit more of a human feel to it. And I only changed the hi-hat pattern that will fit the lyrics in the second verse, and this is how it sounds like. This way, it doesn't all sound monotonous, and it's interesting because there is a variation between the first verse and the second verse. So after I added a hi-hats and this rattlesnake sound, the stock sound had already an automatic panning from left to the right, which creates that stereo image and movement in the mix. That was really easy for me to do and to use in this project, so I just had to really just gain stage the sound with everything else. So at a certain point of time, I actually just got stuck because everything I had was an 808, a kick, a tuck, a tam, and tom, and this percussive element, pow, and hi-hats, and really nothing else in my song besides this. So as you can already hear, even without a melody or without anything really to it, it's just a bare bones of the beat. It has already quite a lot of character to it. So one of the ways for me personally to deal with the beat block, as producers call it, is to actually start writing lyrics because I'm an artist and I rap over my own instrumentals. I just started writing a hook and a verse, and the first thing came up to me that my insides are black. I blame on Arabica, which is a reference to Arabica beans, coffee. And I was like, oh, this bit kind of reminds me of like a lot of Egypt and Morocco and talking everything Eastern and just Middle East. It had like a very Middle Eastern, deserty, gritty vibe to it. So I just decided to stick to it. However, life happens and sometimes you can't really find the sounds that you're looking for straight away, and sometimes you just need time. So I just chucked the beat away. I looked for some feedback, and some of my mates offered me certain solutions that I tried out, but they just didn't work. So I decided, okay, I'll just write to the beat and I'll just leave it out. And if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If it's not, I'm going to move to the next song. So I was working on different projects at that time. And then I decided, hey, I remember this beat having quite a lot of potential. So I just came back to that. The next thing that I added was actually a hook. So I took out everything besides kick, a fill, which I just chopped, and layered it with tambourine sound and tuck at the very end to take it into the next period. So this is how the hook bit sounds like. This is how it sounds like together, just those two elements working. So this is the feel on its own. It sounds like a bit crushed snare, which it probably is. But when it's layered with tambourine and attack sound at the very end, this is how it all sounds like together, which makes it really, really interesting. The next thing that I added was the transitions. So it was a fill, a swip, and a texture sound. So sweep, riser, reverse cymbal, anything that is really has like a build up and a release effect to it in a waveform. You can always tell by the waveform. It's a really good way to take the listener on a journey and move him from one place into another from the song. And it's just the easiest way, especially if you're a noob like I am. The next bit that I added was this texture sound, which is basically somebody playing with an oatmeal pack and recording it on a mic. It's just somebody wrestling an oatmeal pack. It's a little thing, but it adds quite a lot to the beat, which makes it just, if you sprinkle, I chopped it and I sprinkle it just all over the beat, and it just fills in the gaps and nothing else. It just fills in the gaps with the sound. It's just ambient sound that is just there. And it's really, it adds. At the end of the day, it just adds. A little bit, but it adds. And it works. So after having pretty much everything besides the flute, so, in my opinion, the beat already had quite a lot of character going on, but I still wanted to have a melody, because otherwise this beat would have sounded like very, very similar to Check-In, which has no melody, and it's just the bass line, and it's very, very minimalistic. This beat is minimalistic, but I wanted to add more feel to it, so I just went on Splice and found a really, really cool flute, a sample of the flute, just melody flute playing. I found a few, but this stood out to me. So what I did is I played with a sample, I chopped it, and I shifted tonality of the sample a few semitones down in certain bits of the song, so it sounds a little bit different to the ear. It's a very subtle change, but it's really important, again, that it happens into the beat, especially nowadays when a lot of trap and hip-hop producers have really simple melodies. And this is one of those cases, and it just adds a bit of difference. It's exactly the same sound, but it sounds a little bit different, and people will notice it. The artist will notice it, the listener will notice it. So this is how this sample sounds like. The only processing on this bit that I did was an EQ and a decapitator, which is basically a plugin that distorts shit. Yeah, so this is how the beat sounds like all together without the lyrics. So it's a very simple, very minimalistic, hard-hitting bit. I think you really guys enjoy videos like that. I most definitely enjoyed making one of those videos, and I found it extremely helpful for myself when I was looking for inspiration to just look at the work of other people. So thank you so much for your time. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. And yeah, if you are interested in seeing how my vocals are being done on this project, let me know in the comments, let me know on my Instagram, let me know on my stories that you're really interested in seeing that, and maybe I'll think about making another video for you. Thank you. Bye.